Welcome to another soap making video, this time using the heat transfer method and the entire process of cutting and stamping of one of my men's soap that I like to call Bourbon and Tobacco. The fragrance I'm using is from Brambleberry called Kentucky Bourbon. I love it so much. And for color I have the Bloom Gold Mica from You Make It Up. And here this deep brown, it's called Chestnut Brown Mica, also from You Make It Up. I do have some titanium dioxide pre-mixed with water for the main soap part. I don't want to go for a full white color, just a nice butter color or ivory. Here are the pre-measured hard oils. In this case palm and coconut oil. But this principle works for any kind of hard oils that you want to use in your recipe. We set it aside for later because we need to weigh out the soft oils called for in this recipe as well. You will find the details down in the description along with all links to all ingredients, tool and equipment that I'm using or recommending. The soft oils here are olive oil along with castor and sweet almond oil. I would usually start with preparing the lye solution first, but in this case we want to have the oils measured out and ready, so once the lye is dissolved we can pour immediately while the solution is hot, so it can really melt down the hard oils. This is exactly what we are going to do now. I find this method super efficient, especially if you don't want to wait for the lye to cool down or if you don't have a thermometer. Mix until all oils are completely melted. Then add the soft oils to it. It's time to add the stick blender and mix until we reach an emulsion. I'm going to split off the soap in two different containers so I can create three different colors. I usually add mica directly to the soap and never had any problems with it. This one is the Bloom Gold Mica. Then we have Chestnut Brown Mica for this other jug. And in the main part I add titanium dioxide mixed with water. You could also use the oil dispersible titanium dioxide if you prefer and pre-mix it with oil before adding it. I'm starting by mixing the lightest color so I don't need to clean the stick blender in between. I give it a good stick blend, and as you can see the soap is already quite thick, so we want to move rather fast. I'm just scraping the sides to make sure that the color is well incorporated. It's now time to add the fragrance to it, and I'm just eyeballing the distribution of it in these three different containers, and I just hand mix the fragrance oil with my spatula, unless I want to pipe and need a thick trace as soon as possible. And by the way, if you want to see a video specifically on piping and soap frosting, I will leave this video in the description for you to check out as well. Time to pour. I'm using the Brambleberry wooden 5-pound mold with a silicone liner inside. Absolutely love it and highly recommend it. Here I'm just shaking the mold to distribute the light color throughout the mold, and usually, just so you know, I'm a bit more smooth in the handling of the soap, but this camera angle here is a bit complicated to work around, so sorry. Now I add the 2 colors. And I don't have an exact strategy here, as you can see. I will just create a swirl inside afterwards, so I'm not really particular about it. Here is a spoon, relatively long one, and I like to use it to swirl along the mold in a circular motion. And since the soap is quite thick, I want to drag the colors inside of each other, so I do more circles than usual. Now I just go ahead and add the rest of the soap on top. With a thick chopstick, I texture the top with figure 8 motion. Very simple, but I love it. Spritzing the top with rubbing alcohol prevents soda ash. And the only thing left to do now is to wait at least 24 hours or longer, as there is no need to rush. It's the next day and I'm going to show you the unmolding and how easy it is with this Brambleberry 5-pound mold. It has a slide button and a silicone liner inside, so you can remove the wooden frame, so to speak, to reveal the silicone liner. The liner peels off quite easily from the soap, and if it doesn't, it means you just leave it 1 or 2 days longer. Especially if you didn't use sodium lactate. By the way, in this case I added the sodium lactate to the liquid oils. We are ready for the cut. I love to use a multi-bar cutter because it makes the cut straight and easy. You can also use a single wire cutter or a simple non-serrated knife. It's easy to use, you just press down to reveal the swirl inside. It's always very exciting to see how it actually turned out because you can never tell before. And I think it looks okay and they smell amazing. I let them sit for at least 4 to 6 weeks. But concerning the stamping, I usually do it right after the cut, and I'm going to show you the way I like to do it in just a second. Here is the acrylic stamp with my logo on it. This one was custom made by my soap stamp maker in Germany, Bernd. I can highly recommend him for anyone in Europe, also if you don't live in Germany, as the shipping costs are really very little. And here is a rubber mallet that I like to use for a gentle tap, and for starting out you can use a sample piece to test if the stamp comes out alright before actually stamping on the soaps. A light touch is usually enough. Don't overdo it, and when you see that the stamp sinked into the soap, you wiggle it out very gently, not to tear the soap. And that's really all there is to it. If you're interested in more soap making related videos, check out the playlist on the screen where you can find many more. Feel free to subscribe and see you next time. Bye!